The Galaxy S26 Ultra might look familiar at first glance, but trust me, once you look closer, Samsung has changed way more than you expect. Some fixes are long overdue. Others finally bring this phone to the level it should have been years ago. So today, we're breaking down the 12 actual upgrades that matter, and why the S26 Ultra might be Samsung's smartest Ultra refresh in a long time. Let's start with design, because this year, Samsung finally listened. The S26 Ultra is slightly rounder, but not enough to lose that Note-style identity we all love. And thank God they finally chamfered those edges. If you use the S25 Ultra, you know exactly what I mean. Those edges were sharp enough to remind you that you're holding cold metal, not a premium flagship. But the biggest visual change is the camera setup. Samsung redesigned it to look a lot more like the Z Fold 7's clean module. And honestly, that's a good thing. It looks modern, minimal, and more futuristic. But it does come with one drawback. This phone is now officially a desk wobbler. Put it flat, tap the corner, and it wiggles like it wants your attention. That said, the S26 Ultra is physically improved. It's 0.3 millimeters thinner and 4 grams lighter than the S25 Ultra. Sounds small, but in a market where every phone feels like it's hitting physical limits, shaving off anything is impressive. For perspective, Apple's iPhone 17 Pro Max is almost a whole millimeter thicker and about 20 grams heavier, a big difference when you hold them back to back. Now let's talk about what I think is the biggest upgrade this year, the display. Two major changes stand out. First, Samsung added the new AI privacy mode. Basically, the viewing angle automatically narrows when the phone detects you're in a public place or opening something sensitive. People next to you see a dim blur, while you see a perfectly clear screen. You can also toggle it manually. It's one of those features you never knew you needed until you use it. Second, Samsung is finally moving to the new M14 OLED panel with CoE. This means lower power usage, richer colors, and longer panel lifespan. The surprising thing? Samsung kept the brightness at 2600 nits, the same as last year. The panel can go higher, but Samsung seems to be saving that for later. Also, still no confirmation on whether full 10-bit color is enabled. The panel can do it, but Samsung software might limit it to 8-bit again. Battery capacity remains unchanged, but charging? Finally upgraded. Wired charging jumps to 60W, and wireless gets bumped to 25W. That's Samsung's biggest charging improvement in years, and it will be noticeable, especially for people who travel or need quick top-ups. Another big win: built-in magnets. The S26 Ultra finally supports MagSafe-style charging without needing a special magnetic case. This should have been added ages ago. Now accessories will snap on properly, chargers won't slip, and mounts will be far more secure. RAM and storage options are the same as last year, but the RAM itself is upgraded to a faster LPDDR5X variant, about 26% faster. This translates to smoother lens switching, better multitasking, faster low-light shutter capture, and overall snappier performance. Now, let's talk cameras, because even though the layout looks similar to the S25 Ultra, the hardware itself got meaningful upgrades. The biggest? Larger apertures. The main camera leaps from f/1.7 f/1.4, letting in up to 40% more light. This means brighter, sharper night photos, cleaner shadows, and better natural depth. The 5x telephoto also gets an aperture improvement, which should noticeably boost telephoto clarity in low light. Video also gets a huge step forward with Samsung's new APV codec, basically Samsung's answer to Apple ProRes but more efficient. It gives creators better control, better compression, and more editing flexibility. If you ever wanted a ProRes-like mode on a Galaxy, this is it. The selfie camera gets wider too, jumping from 80 degrees to 85 degrees FOV. The punch hole is slightly larger, but most people won't mind given the wider shots. Meanwhile, Samsung also tweaked focal lengths across the rear cameras. Main lens, 23mm, 24mm. 5x telephoto, 115mm, 120mm. Small changes, but the telephoto improvement gives nicer subject separation and more natural background compression. The S26 Ultra is also the first phone to ship with One UI 8.5, which is a noticeably bigger jump than One UI 8. Tons of UI polishing, animations, refinements, and visual improvements. I already installed it on the S25 Ultra and made a full hands-on breakdown. You'll find that linked below. Inside, the S26 Ultra now packs the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 globally. No Exynos this time. This chip is around 20% more powerful and 30% more efficient than last year's chip, and early benchmarks show it beating Apple's A19 Pro. But the real story is long-term performance. With Samsung now promising 7 years of OS updates, efficiency gains matter more than ever. AI features like Perplexity inside Bixby are also coming. I'll see you in another video.